Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And for a few minutes, I want to talk a little bit about the New Orleans Saints San Francisco 49ers game. I'm not going to predict the game until later on in the week, but I do want to talk about this game because, of course, we saw what happened. The Baltimore Ravens knocked off the San Francisco 49ers in a very good defensive battle, man. I mean, and it wasn't the most pleasant of conditions out there. It was raining on the majority of the game, and these two teams just battled it out. And a lot of people are saying that this was a Super Bowl preview. I mean, I disagree with that, but at the end of the day, these were two NFL juggernauts going at it. And now it sets up the big game inside of the Superdome. The New Orleans Saints taking on the San Francisco 49ers. During the making of this video, it's probably like around 10 o'clock in the morning. So we don't know if the San Francisco 49ers are going to be still the 1 seed or they're going to be the number 5 seed because the Seattle Seahawks win against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. Here's the thing. This game right here, this is a very nerve-wracking game. I will say that. The San Francisco 49ers are a really good football team. They got a good front four. They can get pressure on the quarterback. People like Bosa and Armstead. I mean, they got some great linebackers, young linebackers that can run, and also they can cover the running backs. And, of course, we know about Richard Sherman, a guy who played for the Seattle Seahawks for a long time. A lot of people had him as one of the best, if not the best, cornerback in all of the National Football League. Has he regressed over the years? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, he's still one of the elite players at his position. And you know they're going to have him following Michael Thomas throughout the game. So the question I just have is, and this isn't something that I feel like the Saints can't solve, but who is going to be that guy is going to step up in order to make plays? I mean, we know that Michael Thomas is leading the league in receptions, but what's going to happen when he goes up against Richard Sherman and they try to isolate him? What happens if Alvin Kamara is being followed by one of the, one of those good athletic linebackers that they have? Like, who is going to step up? And this is the question that is on everybody's mind in the Who Dat Nation. Who is the guy that's going to answer the call when his number is called in order for him to make a play? I think that the San Francisco 49ers are a good football team, but I think the New Orleans Saints are a better football team than the 49ers in some areas. When it comes to winning close games, I feel like the Saints are battle-tested. We all know that the Saints smell like smoke because they've been through fire. Losing the way that they have in the postseason, leaving bad taste in their mouths. But at the end of the day, I think that they have what it takes in order to beat the 49ers. But I will say the 49ers have what it takes to beat the New Orleans Saints also. The New Orleans Saints cannot go into the Superdome playing like they played for the last couple weeks. I mean, honestly, they've been lollygagging and pussyfooting around with these teams and not putting their foot on the necks of their opponents, allowing these guys to get back into the game. And I think this is something that defensive coordinator Dennis Allen needs to address. The way that they play defense down the stretch. Maybe they shouldn't play so much prevent. I understand that you're trying to allow teams to, get the ball downfield to burn clock. But at the end of the day, you have to impose your will. I mean, if you got a defense and these guys can make stops, you should have confidence that they can make stops all throughout the game. And I know, I probably being hypocritical with this and I think some people probably in the Who Dat Nation are as well. But I think we know about the divisional round when the Saints did play the 49ers when Greg Williams was the defensive coordinator. The Saints were still blitzing, and a lot of people were like, why they ain't one playing prevent? You don't have that issue with Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen plays a lot of prevent, when it comes to late in the game. So maybe they need to focus on that as well. But I just think that the New Orleans Saints going to have to run the football in this game. If you look at the 49ers, they do a lot of things well defensively, like getting pressure on the quarterback, and on the back end, they got a lot of young players like Witherspoon and guys like that, that can cover. but they do suffer when it comes to the running attack. I mean, you can run on this football team. That was one of the reasons why the Ravens were so successful in the game, because they were able to run the football. I mean, action, Lamar Jackson, he was handling his business. Don't get me wrong. He went over 100 yards rushing. But, I mean, Mark Ingram, he had a good day. Jefferson, along with Mark Ingram, had a good day. They were able to run the football. You can run the football on this team. So I think that Sean Payton needs to understand that he's going to need to run the football in order for him to win this game. You're not going to beat the 49ers throwing the ball 35, 40 times and throwing it all over the field, man. It's just not going to happen. You got to be able to run the football and understand that you're going to be in a dogfight and not be afraid to go in that phone booth and know that your squad is going to come out of that phone booth, with the victory. So it's going to be an interesting game. Throughout the week, I'm going to talk about matchups from each position and who I feel like has the advantage. So y'all be on the lookout for these videos. And I want to know what you all think. What do you think about the San Francisco 49ers game? Are you nervous about this game? Or do you think that the Saints have what it takes and you're not nervous at all? Comment down below, like and share this video. This has been the State of the Saints podcast. Please follow on Facebook, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. And if you have not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you all very much for your love and your support. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?